Hi, this is Miss Keys. Today we're going to focus on doing volume of a cone. So first we're going to look at the warm-up and make sure that you guys are doing this along with me. So it says find the value of x. So we're going to have to do Pythagorean theorem. So leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So I'm going to do 65 squared plus 72 squared equals x squared. Then we're going to simplify that. So 65 squared plus 72 squared is 9,409 equals x squared. Then we're going to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 9,409 is 97. So my hypotenuse is going to be 97 units. Alright, number 2, we have a missing right angle, so make sure you add this in right here. So we have our legs are 6 and x, and our hypotenuse is 9. So again, I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem. 6 squared plus x squared equals 9 squared. 6 squared is 36 plus x squared. 9 squared is equal to 81. I'm going to subtract 36 on both sides. And 81 minus 36 is 45. So I have x squared equals 45. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And you can either leave this as x equals the square root of 45, or we could put this as a decimal, and I'm going to round to the tenths place, which is x equals 6.7. Alright, let's start with the lesson. So today we're doing volume of a cone, and the formula for volume of a cone is pi radius squared times the height divided by 3. Alright, so let's try number 1. So looking at number 1, our radius is 3 and our height is 25. So we have 3 meters and 25 meters. Let me add the units. So now let's use our formula. Volume equals pi radius squared is 3 squared times the height, which is 25. And then we're going to divide that by 3. So now we can write the answer 2 different ways. Remember, we can write it in terms of pi, so when we don't put the pi in the calculator, but we write it in our answer, or we can multiply pi in our calculator. Now, when you put this in your calculator, we want to multiply everything on the top, hit enter, then divide by 3. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 3 squared times 25, hit enter, then divide by 3. So my answer would be 75 pi, because this time I did not multiply the pi in. Or if we multiply the pi in, 75 times pi, and I'm going to round to the tenths place, is going to be 235.6. And then our units are going to be meters cubed. Alright, let's try number 2. For number 2, I have the diameter right there, so to find the radius, I'm going to divide by 2, so 8 divided by 2 is 4 inches. And my height that's perpendicular to the circle, to the base, is 12, so 12 inches. Now I'm going to use my volume formula. Volume equals pi radius squared, which is 4 squared, times my height, which is 12, and then divide it by 3. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 4 squared times 12, hit enter, and then divide by 3. And I end up getting 64 pi pi. Now if I multiply the pi in the calculator, 64 times pi, I get a decimal of 201.1, rounding to the tenths place. And then my units for both of these are going to be inches cubed. Okay, number 3, again, we're going to find the volume of the cone. Looking at this picture, the diameter is 30. So if I'm finding the radius, I'm going to take half of that. So I'm going to divide that by 2, which would be 15 feet. And my height is 25 feet. Then I'm going to use my volume formula. Volume equals pi radius squared, so 15 squared, times my height, which is 25, divided by 3. So I'm going to put this in my calculator. I'm going to leave the pi out. I'm going to write my answer in terms of pi, so 15 squared times 25, hit enter, and then divide by 3. I get 1,875 pi. Or if I multiply the pi in and write it as a decimal, I'm going to get 5,890.5, and then my units are going to be feet cubed. Okay, number 4. So looking at number 4, I have the diameter of the circle, which is 18 inches, so the radius would be 9 inches. And now for this one, we actually don't have our height. Our height always has to be the number that's going to be perpendicular to the base, and the base is our circle. Right now we have 15, and that's actually called our slant height. But we don't want the height, or we don't want the slant height, we want the actual height of this cone. So we have to figure out, how am I going to find the height of this cone? I'm going to label that X. And looking at this, do you guys see that triangle right there? Hopefully you guys are thinking that we'll be able to use Pythagorean theorem. So in order to just look at this purple triangle, if I take half of 18, I'm going to get 9, which would also be the radius, and I'm going to use that to do Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to do 9 squared plus x squared equals 15 squared. 9 squared is 81, plus x squared equals 15 squared, which is 225. Then I'm going to subtract 81 from both sides. I have x squared is equal to 225 minus 81 is 144. I'm going to take the square root of both sides so that I get x is equal to 12. So what I just solved for right now is the height of our cone, which is 12 inches. So I'm going to write that right here. This is 12 inches is the height. So I'm going to fill this in right here, 12 inches. And now I'm going to do the volume formula. So volume is equal to pi 9 squared, radius squared, times the height, which is 12, divided by 3. So putting this into my calculator, I'm going to do 9 squared times 12, hit enter, and then divide by 3. So I'm going to get 324 pi, or if I multiply the pi in my calculator, I'm going to get 1,017.9. and my units are going to be inches cubed. Alright, and we have one more problem. Okay, number 5, it says find the value of x if the volume is 21 pi. So if I look at this, our radius right now is x, and our height is 7. So I'm trying to solve for x. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to write down my volume formula for a cone, which is pi radius squared times the height divided by 3. So now I'm going to fill in everything that I know. Well, I know the volume is 21 pi, so I'm going to fill that in. I have my pi, I'm going to rewrite that. My radius squared, well, I don't have my radius is x, so I'm going to do x squared times the height, which is 7, so times 7, and then divide it by 3. Alright, well first what I need to do is I need to get rid of that 3 on the denominator, so I need to multiply both sides by 3 to cancel the 3. So those cancel. 21 pi times 3 is 63 pi. So 63 pi is equal to pi x squared times 7. I'm trying to get the x squared all by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 7 pi. So now the pi's cancel, the 7's cancel. On the right side, my pi's cancel, and then 63 divided by 7 is 9. So 9 is equal to x squared. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 9 is 3. So I have x is equal to 3. Alright, and that is it. Make sure that you complete your homework now. Good luck!